In the spring of 1943, the Allies were preparing to invade Sicily. Everyone involved understood the central problem. If Germany correctly guessed where the blow would fall, the landings could become vastly more expensive in ships, aircraft, and lives. So British intelligence chose to do something extraordinary. Instead of merely hiding the real target, it decided to invent a man, send him into enemy view, and let his pockets whisper a lie. The operation became known as Mincemeat. Its logic was brutally simple. A single dead courier carrying apparently secret papers could be more convincing than any radio trick or diplomatic rumor, because documents found by accident often feel more truthful than information offered on purpose. But that raised a grim question. How do you build a body and a biography strong enough to survive police examination, Spanish handling, and German intelligence review? The medical problem mattered first. The British needed remains that would not immediately expose the deception under ordinary examination. Sir Bernard Spilsbury, Curie, and others were consulted as planners, worked through what enemy doctors might see and what they might miss. This was not a theatrical prank. It was an intelligence operation built around forensic plausibility. At the center of the plan were Charles Cholmondeley of MI5 and Naval Intelligence Officer Ewan Montague. Montague understood something many bad deceivers forget. A false story does not become persuasive by being dramatic. It becomes persuasive by being mundane in exactly the right places. The invented courier therefore could not look like a hero from a spy novel. He had to look like a tired staff officer who happened to be carrying papers he should not lose. The identity they created was Major William Martin of the Royal Marines. He carried identification, official letters, and what intelligence officers called pocket litter: a photograph, personal correspondence, receipts, theater stubs, bank reminders, and all the little evidence that suggests a human life too messy to be fabricated. The genius of Mincemeat was not the top-secret letter alone. It was the ordinary debris around it. Those details made the larger lie feel accidental and therefore real. The body was transported aboard HMS Seraph under Lieutenant Commander Bill Jewell. In late April 1943, off the coast of Spain near Huelva, the submarine released the body where currents and local handling were expected to do the rest. Spain was officially neutral, but British planners believed documents recovered there had a good chance of being quietly inspected by German intelligence before returning to British hands. The operation depended on that invisible corridor between neutrality and espionage. The planted papers suggested that the Allies were focused on Greece and Sardinia, and that Sicily was not the main blow. This did not need to fool every German analyst completely. It only needed to reinforce doubts, redirect attention, and help enemy leaders misallocate scarce forces at the wrong moment. That was the real objective, not a magical reversal, but a measurable distortion in German decision-making. Operation Mincemeat also worked because it fit into a much broader Allied deception system. Double agents, controlled leaks, and existing channels were already feeding Germany information that mixed truth with carefully shaped falsehood. Men like Juan Pujol Garcia and the officers managing those networks helped create an environment in which the papers taken from Major Martin looked consistent with what some Germans already feared or hoped to believe. The material eventually reached the Abwehr. Wilhelm Canaris and his organization were now handling what appeared to be genuine British correspondence recovered under plausible circumstances. British codebreakers later found encouraging signs that the deception had landed. German deployments showed real concern about Greece and Sardinia. Sicily was still defended, but not with the clarity and concentration the Allies most feared. When Operation Husky began in July 1943, Allied forces still faced hard fighting. Mincemeat did not win Sicily by itself, and serious history should not pretend otherwise, but it helped shape the mental battlefield before the physical one. That is what makes the story so powerful. The operation did not depend on explosions, aces, or miracle weapons. It depended on paperwork, patience, and the frightening precision with which intelligence services can manufacture believability. Operation Mincemeat remains one of the most astonishing true stories of World War II because its weapon was not firepower. It was credibility. A non-existent major, carrying a wallet full of ordinary human details, helped push one of the war's most important invasions through a narrower gap in German expectation. Sometimes history turns not when armies move, but when someone finds exactly the wrong papers and believes them.